Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's so good to be with you again today. I've been holding this topic in for a long time, and honestly, I can't hold it in any longer because lately, almost every single patient walking into my office, young, old, men, women, they sit down and say the exact same thing. Doc, I keep waking up in the middle of the night. Or I keep waking up in the middle of the night. It's miserable, it's torture, and when I look at them, I see those dark circles, the tired eyes, that pale, drained look. It honestly breaks my heart. Have you felt this way? Do you lie down at night and your brain just throws a party like it's Black Friday and everyone's fighting over a flat screen television? Are you exhausted? But your eyes refuse to stay shut. Do you wake up at 2 a.m. and just stare at the ceiling until the birds start chirping? If that sounds like you, please watch this entire episode. I'm not just going to tell you how bad insomnia is. I'm going to tell you why it's actually your body screaming for help. And let me be straight with you. This is not fear-mongering. Insomnia could very well be the first domino to fall on your health. What do I mean by the first domino? You remember playing with dominoes as a kid, right? You tip that first one and the whole row comes crashing down one after another, unstoppable. Insomnia is that first domino. You think it's just a bad night's sleep. But next thing you know, your blood pressure creeps up, your blood sugar goes out of whack, your heart starts acting up, your mood tanks, your immune system takes a nosedive. By the time you realize what's happening, it feels like it's too late. Why am I so sure about this? Let me use an analogy that I use with all my patients. It's simple and it sticks. Think of your body as a bank account, but this is a bank with no overdraft protection, no bailouts, no stimulus checks. Whatever you have is all you get. You cannot borrow from tomorrow. There's no Federal Reserve coming to save you during the day. Work, exercise, talking, thinking, even digesting your lunch, that's withdrawal. You're spending your energy, your life force. Every single action takes money out of that account. And sleep, that's your deposit, that's recharging, that's putting back every single penny you spent during the day. When you lie down, close your eyes, and fall into deep sleep, your body goes into full repair mode. Your liver, heart, kidneys, lungs, digestive system, they're all working overtime, but they're fixing, not stressing. They're flushing out toxins, restoring energy, mending damaged cells. It's like taking your car to the mechanic every night. They change the oil, rotate the tires, give it a wash and wax, check the brakes so it's ready to go the next morning. We all do that for our cars, right? We spend hundreds of dollars on maintenance, but we forget to do it for our own bodies. But if you can't sleep or your sleep is garbage, that means you're only withdrawing, never depositing, you're burning through your savings. You're maxing out your credit card, you're borrowing from tomorrow's health to pay for today's living 1 or 2 nights. You'll just feel tired, grab a Starbucks, push through, you'll survive. But 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, eventually your principle, your core vitality is wiped out. You're living on fumes. And when a bank runs out of money, what happens? It goes bankrupt. When your body goes bankrupt, medically that shows up as sudden cardiac events, immune system collapse, cancer, dementia, stroke. These aren't outside invaders that just happen to you. They're debts your body is collecting from you after years of neglect, after years of poor sleep. So please stop telling me, Doc, it's just sleep. I'll pop a pill and be fine. It's not that serious. Every time I hear that, I get frustrated, not at my patients, but at the fact that nobody gave them the right information earlier. I have to be honest with you, that thinking is dangerous. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg and trying to run a marathon. You're just putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. You take a sleeping pill to knock yourself out thinking you've fixed the problem, but in the background, your liver is still inflamed, your blood pressure is still climbing, your arteries are still clogging, your pancreas is still struggling, you're cutting the alarm wires and pretending nothing's wrong while you keep robbing the bank, burning through your last reserves of life. Now, here's something critical I want you to check for yourself right now, and I mean right now. Pause the video if you need to, because this could literally be a lifesaver. Do you wake up at the same time every night, specifically between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m.? I know what some of you are thinking, Doc, I'm old, my bladder's not what it used to be. I woke up to pee, or I've got an enlarged prostate. It's normal for guys my age. My dad had it. My grandfather had it. Let me tell you, those might be excuses, and dangerous ones at that. If you wake up once, go to the bathroom, and fall right back asleep, like within 5 minutes, no tossing and turning, then sure, it's probably your bladder. That's normal. That's what bladders do as we get older. No big deal. But if you wake up like clockwork, 1:15, 2:33 a.m. on the dot, and your mind is suddenly wide awake, clearer than it was at noon, and you toss and turn for an hour or two, feeling frustrated, irritable, hot, or just plain angry, that is not your bladder. That is your liver screaming for help. And I mean, screaming, write this down, commit it to memory, put it on your fridge. Waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. is your liver's most desperate cry for attention. Now, let me explain the science behind this, because once you understand it, you'll never look at your sleep the same way again in traditional medicine, which has been around for thousands of years. Long before we had MRIs and blood tests, there's a concept called the organ clock. Every organ in your body has a 2-hour window when it's at its peak activity. It's like shift work for your internal organs. 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is gallbladder time. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is liver time. These aren't random numbers. They're based on centuries of observation. There's an ancient saying, when you lie down, blood returns to the liver. What does that actually mean in plain English? When you recline and relax, your blood flows back to your liver to be filtered, detoxified, cleaned, and stored for the next day. Your liver is like a massive blood purification plant. It's the EPA of your body during the day. It pumps clean blood out to your muscles, your brain, your skin. At night, it pulls all that blood back in, runs it through the filters, pulls out the junk, alcohol byproducts, medication, metabolites, environmental toxins, waste products from your own cells, and stores the clean stuff for tomorrow. If your liver is clean, no inflammation, no excess fat, no scarring, no congestion, blood flows through it smoothly like water through a clean pipe, and you'll sleep like a baby. You might not even turn over all night. You'll wake up and feel like you actually slept. But what if your liver is clogged? Think about it. Fatty liver from too many processed foods and sugary drinks, stagnant blood from years of poor circulation, toxin buildup from medications, alcohol, even environmental exposures, or just congestion from inflammation. When all that blood rushes to your liver between 1 and 3 a.m., ready for a massive cleanup, but the door is locked, the pipes are blocked, the filters are clogged. What happens? Let me paint you a picture. It's like 100 workers showing up with tools to fix the factory, but the gate is padlocked. They can't get in. They're pushing from the outside, but nothing's moving. So the pressure builds, and that pressure, that backed up blood rebounds and literally wakes you up. It's not your bladder. It's not anxiety. It's the physical pressure of blood trying to get into a liver that won't let it in. It's like your front door is piled high with garbage bags, weeks worth, and the garbage truck can't get through, so it just keeps honking its horn. You wake up from the noise, but instead of clearing the trash, you put in earplugs. That's the sleeping pill, and go back to sleep. You're not solving the problem. You're just silencing the alarm, and the trash keeps piling up. Eventually, it rots, it smells, it attracts pests. That's cirrhosis, that's liver failure. That's the beginning of the end. I'm not trying to scare you. I've been practicing for over a decade, and I've seen too many cases that ended badly. Talk to families who lost someone to liver disease or a sudden cardiac event during sleep. Ask them, did that person have chronic insomnia? Did they wake up at the same time every night? Almost always. They just didn't know it was a warning sign. Nobody told them ignorance is sometimes the deadliest illness now. There's another red flag I want you to know about, and this one's just as important. Do you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m.? That's lung time. If that's your pattern, your lungs might be struggling either from allergies, asthma, sleep apnea, or even just chronic congestion. Blood can't flow through the lung pathway either, so the same backup happens just at a different hour. That's often a sign of respiratory or heart issues that need immediate attention. If you're waking up at 3 a.m. with a cough or feeling short of breath, or your heart is racing, don't ignore that. That's your lungs waving a red flag. So remember this. Good appetite, good sleep, long life. That's not just a cute saying your grandmother used to repeat. It's one of the most reliable health checklists we've ever had. A truly healthy person falls asleep within minutes of hitting the pillow, sleeps through the night without disturbing dreams, and wakes up refreshed, clear-headed, and ready to take on the day like they just won the lottery. If that's not you, be careful. Your body might be closer to the edge than you think. I'm not exaggerating. Your body doesn't joke. Every signal it sends is serious. It's not trying to ruin your day. It's trying to save your life. So now that we know how dangerous insomnia is and what those 1M wake-ups actually mean, what do? Run to the doctor for sleeping pills, buy melatonin at CVS, order some sleep tea from Amazon. Wrong, dead wrong if you have those little blue, white, or yellow pills on your nightstand. I want you to really look at them, read the label, think about how long you've been taking them, because those pills aren't helping you sleep. They're more like taking a baseball bat and knocking yourself unconscious. And I don't say that lightly. Why do I say that? How are sleeping pills like getting hit over the head? Let's break down what long-term use actually does to you. Pay close attention. This affects your quality of life, your relationships, your career, and your dignity for decades to come. Understanding this is the first real step in helping yourself We've talked about insomnia being a cry for help, especially from your liver. So what's modern medicine's standard response? Instead of helping the liver, we shut down the brain's alarm system. We silence the messenger. I walk into so many elderly patients' bedrooms and see a pharmacy on their nightstand, Ambien, Xanax, Restoro, Lunesta, Sonata, you name it. Sometimes they're mixed with anti-anxiety meds, muscle relaxants, even over-the-counter sleep aids. The doctor says, just take one, you'll be out in 3 minutes. The pharmacist says, this is the one everyone uses, totally safe. No problem. But I'm here to tell you there are serious, well-documented risks, and often doctors don't spell them out, and the pharmacists don't know your full history. They're not being malicious, they're just busy. But you need to know, do you know how these drugs actually put you to sleep? The mechanism is very simple. They suppress your central nervous system. They slow down your brain activity. Let me put it in a way that really hits home. Imagine you have a guard dog at home. That's your brain. That dog is loyal, smart, and alert. He's barking because something's wrong. Maybe there's an intruder, an infection, maybe you're sick, inflammation, maybe your liver isn't happy, congestion. He's doing his job, warning you that there's a problem. What does Western medicine do with a sleeping pill? Instead of checking for the intruder, fixing the leak, or calming the dog down with training and care, it takes a big stick and bam, knocks the dog unconscious. Dog stops barking, silence, problem solved, right? Except the thief, the root cause, is still there, and that dog gets hit every night. Eventually, he gets slow, groggy, confused, loses his edge. When a real threat comes, he might not bark, he might not even know he should. He's just a shell of the guard dog he used to be. Sleep and being knocked out are two very different things. Real sleep recharges you, your organs repair, your brain organizes memories, your immune system strengthens, your hormones balance out. You wake up clear and energized like a fully charged phone that lasts all day. But when you wake up after taking a sleeping pill, you feel heavy-headed, foggy, like you're walking through quicksand. You can't remember where you put your keys. You feel unsteady on your feet. Your coffee doesn't even help. That's because you didn't truly rest. Your brain was just chemically suppressed, like shutting down a computer without saving your files. It's going to be slow, glitchy, and full of errors the next day. There are three major issues with long-term sleeping pill use, and this isn't me exaggerating. It's backed by research from major medical institutions, including the American Geriatric Society and countless peer-reviewed studies. Issue number one, increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia. These drugs interfere with neurotransmitters over time. They literally change how your brain cells communicate. Brain volume can even shrink. If you look at the medication history of many Alzheimer's patients, you'll often find years, sometimes decades, of sleeping pill or sedative use. Is that how you want to spend your later years? Not recognizing your own kids, not remembering your grandkids' names, losing your way home from the grocery store, needing 24/7 care. Losing your independence and your dignity, that's not a retirement anyone wants. Issue number two, dangerous sleep behaviors. Some people get up in the middle of the night, cook entire meals, drive to the store, make phone calls, rearrange furniture, and have zero memory of it the next morning. That's called complex sleep behavior. It sounds like something out of a late night movie, but it happens, and it's terrifying. People have fallen downstairs, gotten into car accidents, even walked off balconies. It's not a joke, it's real, and it can be fatal. Every year, the ER sees cases of people who took their sleeping pill and then did something they'd never do while awake. Issue number three, liver and kidney damage. Every drug has to be processed somewhere, and that somewhere is your liver and kidneys. Your liver may already be struggling. That's likely why you're not sleeping well in the first place. It's congested, it's inflamed, it's overworked, and then you add more toxins, chemicals that need to be metabolized and cleared. Right on top of it, that's like taking someone who's already injured and asking them to carry a heavier load. Over time, your skin may darken, you develop age spots, your body odor changes, you feel constantly sluggish. These are signs your organs are failing. By then, we're not talking about insomnia. We're talking about dialysis or a transplant waiting list. So here's my honest advice. If you've been relying on sleeping pills long term, please talk to your doctor about tapering off safely. Don't just flush them tomorrow. That can cause withdrawal, rebound, insomnia, even seizures in extreme cases, but start the conversation. That's the most important first step. Ask about a slow taper, like reducing by a quarter pill every 2 weeks. Do it under medical supervision. I can't stress that enough. I know what some of you are thinking, but doc, I can't sleep without them. I'll die. I'll lose my job. You're probably experiencing withdrawal, and I get it. It's like a smoker quitting cold turkey after 40 years. It's tough, But it's temporary. Your body has gotten used to being chemically suppressed. When you stop, it bounces back and can feel worse for a while. Your brain is waking up after years of being sedated. But here's the mindset shift that has helped thousands of my patients. I'd rather lie in bed with my eyes closed, resting quietly, than be knocked out and burdening my liver and brain further. Even just lying still, breathing deeply, and relaxing, that's a form of rest. It's not as good as deep sleep, but it's 1,000 times better than being artificially sedated. And I promise I'm not just going to leave you hanging with a warning and no solution. Today, I'm going to share a natural, gentle way to support healthy sleep rooted in centuries of clinical practice, tested by generation after generation, and backed by common sense. This is not some magical cure-all, it's a real practical approach. Now, let's go all the way back to the basics. Why do we need sleep in the first place? What's actually happening inside our bodies when we close our eyes? Western medicine talks about brain waves, neurotransmitters, melatonin, circadian rhythms. All true, all important, but it can feel like alphabet soup. It can be overwhelming. Let's use a simpler framework, one that my patients tell me finally makes sense. Think of your body as a city. Your liver is the city's main parking garage, or maybe a giant parking lot. Your blood is the cars driving around, and your soul or consciousness, your awareness, your sense of self, that's the driver behind the wheel during the day. The sun is up, energy is outward, everyone leaves the garage, cars, blood go to work, to the grocery store, to soccer practice, to the bank, carrying drivers to where they need to be. The garage is empty, it's just waiting at night, the sun sets. The city winds down, all the cars must come back to the garage for maintenance, oil changes, refueling, tire rotations, detailing. When the cars are safely parked in their spots, the drivers get out, go to their homes, turn off the lights, lock the door, and get cozy under the covers. You fall asleep. And sleep deeply and peacefully, that's normal sleep. That's when you lie down, blood returns to the liver. So what causes insomnia? It's when those cars can't get back into the garage. They're still circling the blocks, honking, flashing their brights, running red lights. The cars want park, so the drivers are still awake, worrying about tomorrow's meeting, their kids' college tuition, that argument they had with their spouse, the credit card bill they haven't paid. In traditional terms, this is called yang doesn't enter yin. The active outward energy that should settle inward at night stays restless and scattered. Why can't the blood return to the liver? Two main reasons, and once you understand them, you'll finally know how to tackle your specific type of insomnia. Let's break them down. Reason number one, the garage. Your liver is too hot, too dirty, or even on fire. It's a mess. If you drove home and found your garage piled high with trash, old furniture, chemical spills, grease, and it felt like a sauna in there, would you park your car inside? No way. You'd park on the street, roll down the windows, maybe keep driving because you don't want to deal with it. This is the restless, agitated type of insomnia, very common in younger adults, middle-aged folks, and anyone under a lot of stress. You feel hot, irritable, like steam is coming out of your ears, your palms and feet are burning, your mouth is bitter, your throat is dry, your eyes are red, you toss and turn like a fish out of water. 1 minute you're kicking off all the covers, the next you're piling them back on. You can't get comfortable. You're so uncomfortable. You just grab your phone or turn on the television and scroll until 3 a.m. That's your liver too hot and too toxic. Your soul refuses to go home. Reason number two, there simply aren't enough cars left, or the cars are broken down, out of gas, or abandoned on the side of the road. This is the deficiency type, very common in older adults, but also in people who have been chronically stressed, chronically ill, or have poor nutrition. Your liver blood is severely depleted. Imagine a garage that used to hold 100 cars. Now only 10 return at night, where the other 90, they're junked, sold for scrap, or have flat tires and dead batteries miles away. They're never coming home. When blood is low, the house feels empty. There's nobody home. In traditional medicine, the liver houses the soul. It's the home base for your consciousness. When blood is abundant, the soul has a warm, secure home. When it's deficient, the soul becomes a wanderer, a homeless spirit floating around your body, restless, unsettled, never able to land. That's why many older folks aren't necessarily agitated or hot, but they just can't fall asleep, or they wake up every hour, or they have bizarre, vivid dreams, seeing departed loved ones, reliving their youth, having conversations with people who aren't there. Maybe they talk in their sleep or even sleepwalk. Their soul is wandering because it has no home to return to. It's like a stray cat. It keeps moving because nowhere feels safe. So here's the big takeaway. Treating insomnia isn't about knocking out the brain with a chemical sledgehammer. It's about solving these two root problems. Clean out the garage, clear liver heat, flush out toxins, reduce inflammation, and bring the cars back home. Nourish liver blood, restore the body's reserves, and gently guide the soul back to its home, clean it up, cool it down, and calmly, patiently escort every car and every driver home. Now, how do we actually do that? How do we gather that wandering blood and homeless soul back into the liver? There's a beautiful, effective approach rooted in something I call physical medicine. It's not about chemistry, it's about physics, about nature, about working with your body instead of against it. It starts with something we all know, flavor. There are 5 basic tastes: sour, bitter, sweet, pungent, and salty. Each has a specific action in the body, like different tools in a toolbox. The sour flavor in particular has a deep special connection to the liver, and sour has a unique physical property that's incredibly useful here. It contracts, it pulls things in, it gathers. Think about biting into a fresh lemon, a sour green apple, or a tart plum. Instantly, your lips pucker, your mouth floods with saliva. Your eyes might even water. You might scrunch up your whole face. That's the power of contraction. It pulls everything inward, tightens things up, draws energy to the center. When you consume a specific sour herbal medicine, it creates a gentle but powerful magnetic pull directed right at your liver. It sends a clear signal to your entire body: all energy, all blood, all parts of you, come back home, stop wandering. The day is over. It's time to settle under that gentle pull. The scattered energy, the restless blood, the floating soul, they all get drawn back into the liver like iron filings to a magnet. Once blood returns to the liver and the soul is back in its home, your eyelids grow heavy, your mind quiets down, your heart rate slows, and sleep comes naturally, gently, like a lullaby. This is not chemical suppression. This is alignment. This is working with your body's natural rhythms, not fighting them. It's following the sun. Up with the light, down with the dark. It's how humans have slept for thousands of years. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Doc, should I take a bitter herb to cool down? Should I drink something harsh and cold? Not necessarily. If you're already deficient, if you lack blood and energy, taking more cooling, bitter herbs can actually make you even weaker. It's like taking the door off a house that's already empty. It just gets colder, draftier, and more lonely. You need to nourish, not just suppress. What you need is sour, but not just any sour. Not lemon juice, not vinegar, not sour candy. Those can irritate your stomach, erode your teeth, or just give you heartburn. You need a specific sour herb that does 2 things simultaneously. It nourishes blood and it gathers the soul, and that herb grows on a bush, produces small, round, red, hard berries that look a bit like tiny cherries. It's considered a king among sleep-supporting herbs in traditional medicine, a real gift for those who have been suffering with insomnia for years. But here's the huge catch, and this is where so many people go wrong. Most people use it incorrectly. They buy it from the herb shop or online, boil it, drink it, and then wonder why it doesn't work. Or worse, why it keeps them wide awake until 3 a.m. There's a critical detail that even some herbalists don't always mention. If you skip this one step, instead of sleeping, you'll be buzzing all night long like you just had 3 shots of espresso. Next, I'm going to reveal this ancient formula and the secret to using it correctly. The way it's been used for centuries. That herb is called sour jujube seed. You might know it by its Chinese name, Suan Zao Ren, or just a sour date seed. But please, don't let the name scare you. It's not exotic. It's not weird. It's just a plant. I can already hear some of you, Doc. I know that herb. I bought it at the health food store, made tea out of it, and it didn't do a thing for my sleep. I was up all night. I hear that all the time, and it's exactly why I'm talking about this. You're not crazy. It didn't work for you because you used the wrong version, and that's not your fault. Nobody told you. Here's the crucial rule about this herb. Raw and processed are opposites. This is a rule that's been taught for over 1,000 years. Yes, you heard me right. The raw, unroasted sour jujube seed has almost the exact opposite effect of the roasted version. The raw seed is actually stimulating. It's used specifically for people who are excessively sleepy, groggy all day, can't stay awake during meetings, or have that condition where they fall asleep at the wheel. Narcolepsy. If you have insomnia and you take the raw seed, you'll be wide awake. Heart pounding, mind spinning. Staring at the ceiling until the sun comes up. You're not treating insomnia, you're drinking a stimulant. You might as well have had coffee. The roasted seed, on the other hand, is deeply calming and nourishing. Once it's gently fried over low heat, its nature changes completely. It becomes warm, internally focused. Contracting, settling, descending. This version is specifically designed for the restless, agitated, blood-deficient insomnia that so many of my patients describe. So if you've tried it before and it didn't work or made things worse, it wasn't the herb's fault. You just bought the wrong preparation. Next time, specifically ask for roasted sour jujube seeds. Say it clearly. or buy the raw ones and dry roast them yourself in a clean pan over low heat like you're roasting nuts for Thanksgiving. Stir them constantly until they puff up slightly, darken in color, and give off a warm, toasty, nutty aroma. That's when they're ready. That's the magic version. Don't skip this. Now, why is this tiny roasted seed so incredibly powerful? Let me break it down into 3 superpowers, and once you hear these, you'll understand why it's been used for so long. Superpower number 1, the sourness gathers the soul like a gentle lasso or a hug. Roasted sour jujube seed has a special sour taste that specifically targets the liver channel when you drink the tea. That sour signal acts like a gentle but firm rope or a soft suction cup, finding the scattered, homeless soul and pulling it back to the liver, back to its home. Once the soul returns to its home, you calm down, your heart rate drops, your mind stops racing, your breathing slows, and your eyelids just naturally close. This is what traditional texts call restraining sweating, generating fluids, and settling the mind. It's not just a sleeping aid, it's a soul gatherer. Superpower number 2, the oils nourish blood like premium synthetic motor oil for your engine. If you crack open the roasted seed, you'll see it's rich in natural oils. It's almost like a tiny sesame seed. Your heart is like an engine that runs 24/7, run it all day without enough lubrication, and it overheats, makes grinding noises, wears down the parts, throws a check engine light. That's what happens with heart and liver blood deficiency. You feel anxious, your heart races, you're restless, you might even have palpitations. The oils in this seed are like high-grade lubricant. They smooth out the dryness, cool the internal heat, calm the engine, and settle your nervous system. Your heart stops racing and starts humming along smoothly. Superpower number 3, the warm aroma opens your heart and mind, releasing tension. Roasted sour jujube seed has a warm, comforting, nutty, slightly sweet aroma. Smell it. It's like fresh baked bread or roasted nuts on a fall day. In traditional medicine, aroma enters the spleen, which is linked to overthinking, worrying, and rumination. When you worry too much, your digestive energy suffers, you get stomach aches, you lose your appetite. You can't stop circling the same thoughts. That warm aroma relaxes you, helps you let go of obsessive thoughts, and brings a sense of it's okay. I'll deal with it tomorrow. It helps you stop spinning and just be. So you see, roasted sour jujube seed isn't just a soul gatherer. A high-grade lubricant, a mood lifter, and a nervous system soother all in one. It doesn't suppress you. It nourishes you from the root, from the inside out. It replenishes your blood, settles your spirit, calms your mind, opens your energy pathways, and brings you back into balance. When you use it correctly, you don't just fall asleep, you sleep deeply, peacefully, without disturbing dreams, and you wake up in the morning feeling like you actually rested, not groggy, not foggy, not irritable, just clear, refreshed, and ready for your day. That's the kind of sleep that makes you believe in good health again. But even a king needs a team. In traditional medicine, we use a concept called sovereign minister, assistant, envoy. For mild occasional sleeplessness, roasted sour jujube seed alone might be enough. But for chronic, stubborn insomnia, the kind that's been going on for years, the kind that's resistant to everything, the kind that has you despairing, one herb alone isn't enough. It's like trying to win a championship with just one player on the court. We need a full team, a crack squad, a military unit. So I'm going to share with you the classic formula that's been used for over 1,800 years, the sour jujube seed decoction. This formula is not something I just made up. It's from a classic text called the Golden Cabinet, written by a physician named Zhang Jing, who is often called the Hippocrates of traditional medicine. It's been tested on millions of people over millennia. It's the real deal, and I'll teach you one hidden step that almost no one tells you. Miss this step and the whole thing may not work. You'll waste your time, your money, and your hope. Let me introduce the team. This is the starting lineup. 5 players, each with a critical role. First, the king, roasted sour jujube seed. That's our main player. It nourishes blood and gathers the soul. It's the quarterback, the point guard, the captain. Without it, the team falls apart. Second, the road opener, a herb called chuanchong. This is the opener, the pioneer, the sweeper. Sour jujube seed pulls energy and pulls the soul home. But what if the pathways are blocked by stagnant blood, old clots, inflammation, even just chronic tension? The soul can't get in even if it's pulled back because the door is jammed. Chuanchang is like a road clearing crew after a blizzard. It moves through the blood vessels and energy channels, sweeping out obstruction, opening up the pathways so the soul can walk right in. It also relaxes the liver because the liver hates stagnation. It's like giving your liver a deep massage. Third, the firefighter, an herb called anna or jimu in Chinese. Many insomnia patients feel hot, irritable, like a fire is smoldering inside their chest. Their palms are hot, their cheeks are flushed. They're craving cold drinks. That's what we call deficiency heat. There's not enough nourishing fluid, so the heat has nowhere to go and it flares up. Anna is like the fire department. It cools that internal fire, clears the heat, and brings the temperature down so you can settle in and relax. Fourth, the dehumidifier, a mushroom called poria or fuling. Some people have palpitations, chest tightness, a feeling of pressure or waterlogging. That's often fluid retention that affects the heart. Poria is like a gentle pump or dehumidifier. It drains excess water out of your system, takes the load off your heart so it can finally rest. Fifth, the harmonizer, licorice root. It brings all these different herbal personalities together, making sure they cooperate instead of conflicting. It also extends the effects of the formula so you sleep longer and don't wake up after an hour. This team works together flawlessly, like a well-oiled machine. They clean your garage, unblock the driveway, put out the internal fire, drain the excess water, and then gently, patiently escort your soul home for the night. Here's the crucial step that most people miss, and the reason so many give up on this formula and assume herbs don't work. You must crush the sour jujube seeds before you cook them. I can't say this loud enough. They're as hard as pebbles. Their shells are like armor if you throw them in whole. You could boil them for 3 hours and the active compounds, the precious oils, the sour essence won't come out. You're basically drinking brown tinted hot water with a faint smell. You'll get zero benefit. So before you cook, take your roasted seeds and put them in a mortar and pestle, or wrap them in a clean kitchen towel and give them a few good whacks with a rolling pin, a hammer, or the bottom of a heavy skillet. Hit them until they crack open, split apart, and you see the pale inner kernel and smell that warm, nutty oil. That's your signal. Now, the medicine can come out. Here's a basic recipe, and I mean basic for educational purposes only. This is not a prescription. Always consult your own doctor or qualified practitioner for doses tailored to your specific body type, age, and severity. Roasted sour jujube seed, about 15 to 20 grams, and make sure it's crushed. Licorice root, about 3 to 5 grams. Anna about 6 to 10 grams. Poria, about 6 to 10 grams. Chuansheng, about 3 to 5 grams. Directions, simple enough for anyone to follow. 1. Soak all the herbs in cold water for about 20 minutes. This softens them and helps release the active compounds. 2. Add about 3 to 4 cups of water, roughly 800 milliliters. Just use a standard measuring cup 3. Optional but recommended if you have time. You can simmer the crushed sour jujube seeds alone for about 10 minutes before adding the other herbs. If you're in a hurry, just toss everything in together. The difference isn't huge. 4. Bring everything to a rolling boil, then reduce the heat to low, cover with a lid, and let it gently simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes. Let the liquid reduce down to about 1 to 1.5 cups, roughly 230 milliliters, about the size of a standard coffee mug. 5. Divide this into 2 portions, one for now, one for later. The best time to drink the last half is about 30 to 60 minutes before you plan to get into bed. As you sip it, don't chug it. You might feel a warm, soothing sensation spreading through your belly. It's not dramatic, not a knockout feeling. It's gentle, the restlessness fades, the anxiety lifts, the heat in your chest dissipates, your eyelids start to feel heavy. This is your body telling you it's ready. This is your cue. Put down the phone, turn off the television, close the laptop, get into bed, dim the lights, and let yourself drift off. And when you wake up the next morning, maybe even to sunlight filtering through the curtains, not an alarm blaring, you'll feel clear-headed, energized, and truly rested. No grogginess, no brain fog, no feeling like you need another 4 hours of sleep just to function. That's the power of real, restorative, natural sleep. That's what your body actually needs. Now, let me be real with you. This isn't a magic potion that works overnight for everyone. For some people, it takes a few days or even a week or two for the body to rebalance. Your body has been out of sync for years, maybe decades. It's not going to reverse overnight, but many of my patients find that within the first week, they start sleeping longer, waking up less, and feeling more rested in the morning. Stick with it. Give your body a chance to heal. So let's wrap this all up. Your health, your sleep, your energy, your mood, your long-term well-being really starts with small daily choices and getting the right information from reliable sources. Sleep isn't just rest, it's the foundation of everything. It's when your body repairs, when your brain cleans itself, when your immune system recharges. It's the most important thing you do every day. Don't trick your body into sleeping with chemical suppressants. Don't silence the alarms. Instead, listen to the signals, nourish your body, and support it with the tools it's been using for thousands of years. Start with one small change today. Maybe it's switching from the raw to the roasted seed. Maybe it's crushing it before you cook it. Maybe it's just having that conversation with your doctor about tapering off medications. Every small step counts. Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you tried anything like this? Do you wake up at the same time every night? What's been the most helpful thing you've discovered? I read your comments and they help me make better videos for you. Share this with someone you care about. They might really need to hear it tonight. Sleep is something we all need and we all deserve to get it right. If you're dealing with any health concerns, please schedule a visit with your primary care doctor. I'm here to help you understand the science, not replace professional medical advice. Take care of yourselves, sleep well, and I'll see you in the next one.